Our Petconnect segment this morning with LeeAngela Garate. LeeAngela, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us. I'm used to you being over here.
We're changing things up today.
There you go. There you go. Tell us a little bit about Petconnect. I know that we started this a couple of months ago. And what is the purpose of Petconnect?
Petconnect is really to bring awareness of the animals here in our community, as well as the people within the community that love the animals, that care for them, and be a resource, be able to help, but also, you know, it's everybody. If you have a pet and everything, you want to talk about your pet. Yeah. It brings a smile to your face.
You know, you and I talked a couple of weeks ago about a situation where my grandson, he wants a pet, but everybody has to buy into it. You know, you just can't have a child on it because the parents and siblings are involved in it as well.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up, because in some situations, you know, one even spouse may want a pet and one might not want a pet. And so it is something that the entire family needs to be on the same page, because there's more than just playing with the pet. There's, you know, you have veterinarian concerns, but also if you're talking about a puppy, you might be talking about needing training because they don't come knowing everything. So it is something that the whole family, but it's also something that the whole family can use as an activity together. Yeah. You know, you can go on hikes, you can go on walks, you can also volunteer as a family. With some of either with the shelter or even with some of the nonprofit animal organizations here.
Damari, who was just with us a few minutes ago, he has a pet dragon, bearded dragon.
Yeah, I heard that.
His dad helps him take care of the bearded dragon, so it can be a family affair, whether it's a bearded dragon or a dog or a cat or whatever.
No matter what it is, and it brings joy, right?
Yep.
It's something, and it also for children. It also starts the learning of caring for an animal, the responsibility of an animal, because it's more, again, you know, spay and or neutering your pet is extremely important, and for health benefits as well as for the pet population. And so it's being able to have those conversations naturally with your child, and they kind of see it. So they start learning by example, and it's fun.
Why are you such a strong advocate of animals?
Well, for me, it started at an early age, and I grew up with cats, and it was kind of funny. We had a female cat who basically had 3 litters back to back, and that was my introduction into, you know, into basically the importance of spaying or neutering. I thought my mom was you know, she was a saint for having 3 litters of kittens, and we managed to, unfortunately we had to take them to the shelter, one of the last litters, but she managed to find homes for them. But that's how it started, and it just kind of grew. My husband and I have a 25-year-old daughter, and she's a huge animal lover, so, you know, we just kind of started getting pets. The joke was when my husband, he was retired Navy, but when he deployed, Elizabeth and I were always bringing a pet home while he was gone. So the importance of having that conversation of everybody on the same page is really important.
Now, your husband, he has a dog now, right?
He does. Well, yes, we have dogs, yes. Okay. I believe there's a picture of, so that picture is actually of Bee, and Bee is a Silicaga dog. She was heartworm positive, and she got treated. And she lives locally, not to Silicaga, but right on the outskirts. And she is, I love that picture because she's sitting in the sun and she's just living large.
Enjoying it, right?
She really is. Yeah. She's a great girl. And then we have another dog. Okay, so that's my husband's dog. And he...
That's Bubba, right?
That's Bubba.
Okay.
And this is on the day that he was adopted, or we officially adopted. We started out actually fostering Bubba. And some people call it foster fail when you no longer foster and you just adopt the dog. I don't ever call that a fail.
Yeah.
Because they end up with a good home. And I think the third dog is actually, there he is. That's Clyde, and Clyde is also living large. He was adopted out of a December adoption event. And we keep it all in the family because he was adopted by my daughter. So, but all 3 of these are, they're alumni to Silicaga.
Now, we want the viewers who have pets to email pictures of their pets too.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we're really excited. So with the Petconnect segment, what we're going to start doing is where viewers can email their photographs of their pet, and we'll have a pet highlight, if you will, for that segment. So the next segment is going to be on May 11th. So I'm excited about that.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of people who have cats or dogs or whatever they may be as far as their pets are concerned, and we want to showcase your pet right here on Petconnect. Now, we talk about animal overpopulation, if you will, and using the term fixing an animal. It doesn't seem like that's the right word, but that's what you do to slow down the pet population.
It is. So what we do is neutering or neuter, the term neuter is a universal term for fixing your pet. But it is important for either to spay is for a female and to neuter is for a male, or fix it. But it will help with the pet population problem. But it's not just the pet population problem. There's benefits to having your animal fixed in regards to behavior, as well as, if roaming, tomcatting when they leave home. I mean, any number of positives for having your animal fixed. And there are ways that you can do it affordably. The Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill, they are a nonprofit that supports the Sylacauga Animal Shelter, and they periodically have certificate sales where they sell lower cost spay-neuter certificates, as well as I believe here in Sylacauga you can also purchase a certificate at Mutt's Cuts. I think I said that right. I don't know. In any event, there are ways, but you can always reach out to the shelter and get information by calling the Sylacauga Animal Shelter. And Connie and the staff there will be happy to give you the information.
There's a lot of thought that should go in to when you think about adopting a pet.
Yes.
And we touched on this at the top of the show, but you just don't say, oh, that's a beautiful cat or a beautiful dog, and let's bring it home. There got to be a lot more in-depth thought to it than that.
Well, I have come at it from different, because I've done adoption counseling as well. And so there's a lot of questions that need to be asked. So once the family is on board with, yes, we want a pet, but one of the questions that needs to come from an adoption counselor is, how is this pet going to interact in your daily life? How do you see the pet being? So, in other words, it might be a situation where mom and dad work all day, and so there's the consideration of, okay, so where will the pet be unsupervised when mom and dad are, and someone's at school and at work? So it could be something as much as, do you have a crate? Are you familiar with crate training? So there is a lot to consider. And adoption counseling, there's so much information on the internet now as far as being able to get, understanding how to go about crate training a dog, or even walking a dog on a leash, because that's not the easiest. Or, what are alternatives to, I don't want to have my cat declawed because of, it's frowned upon is the best way for me to say it, because then they don't have a way of defending themselves should they get out. However, are there alternatives to having the cat declawed? There's so many things that are available as far as information.
What is the 333 rule? What is that?
So 333 is in rescue. It takes pretty much 3 days. So when you think about the life of an animal in a shelter, it's loud, it's cold, or it can be super hot, and it takes 3 days. Once you've adopted a pet, it takes 3 days for the pet just to kind of take a deep breath and go, you know what, I'm safe. This is okay. I'm not going to get hit, or I don't have to worry about where my food's coming from. The 3 week, or the second 3 is 3 weeks. It takes 3 weeks for an animal to learn your schedule. And that can vary. That, I mean, don't hold me to 333. And then 3 months is when they really start to learn, or you might start seeing some of their behavior come out. So you might start seeing a little bit more animation, like Bubba, our tripod that Roger and I have. You know, we had him, and sure enough, long about 3 months that we've had him, about March, he really started running around and feeling good. So it's 333 is not something to be dismissed. If I could say anything regarding adoption of an animal, is that please be patient. Understand that they don't know, and they don't have a way of verbalizing. So just have patience and reach out.
You don't know how much they may have been traumatized prior to you getting the dog, when they were thrown out or beaten up or not cared for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's unfortunate that those things do happen, but if you can have patience in regards to that, you know, when the animal comes into your home. And also I would say any organization that you end up adopting from, if you have a problem, reach out to them before it escalates to a huge problem, you know, and say, hey, I need help with, because I know that all of them would be more than happy to talk you through, you know, leash walking or training, or, you know, how do you crate train, or litter box training, any number of things.
You know, and I've seen reports and stuff on this on social media of animals that have been rescued, whether a dog or a cat, specifically talking about a dog right this moment, but they're traumatized, and you know, you get them a 333, and then a little bit later on, maybe in the process of you having adopted that animal, you have a bad day at work, and you come home and you take your frustrations out on the animal that loves you unconditionally. That's crazy.
Yeah, that, you know, that is one of the sad things. If people could just kind of stop for a minute and take a moment before coming home and taking it out on a pet or a family member, for that matter. You know, I would say that there are organizations to help. And if that is the case, I would say with an animal, please do reach out.
Are you a dog or a cat person?
Well, I have dogs. I do have one cat. I tend to be more of a dog person than I am a cat person. I love cats, but cats have murder mittens. And so that's the reason probably why I tend to go more towards a dog. And cats are so independent. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to walk over there and see you. I'll just stay over here. But they, you know, they provide a lot. The cat that I do have is actually, it was my mom's cat. And my mom passed away, and, you know, my mom was in her 70s, and though she had 2 cats. And her cats brought her a lot of
I was about to say,
pleasure.
How can animals be, especially for seniors who maybe have lost their spouse and they don't have any close family members?
Right. I think it's amazing. I think that the pet, it needs to be an appropriate pet. In other words, I would never have suggested to my mom for her to get like a, you know, 60-pound 3-month-old puppy. It has to make sense, but it's so wonderful, the companionship alone, as well as the purpose. It is, you know, where my mom was getting up, and my mother, you know, there were days that she was depressed and she was lonely, and her cats really, they were her companionship. They did not judge her. She could have a bad day.
So they're therapeutic, right?
Yes, very. And she would pet them. Now, one of the cats, the cat that we have currently, she will nip when you pet her too much. And so, but my mom was used to that. My mom was like, this is okay. But yes, pets are if there's a way to have it happen, then for anyone really, I just believe that everyone is deserving of an animal.
Wow. LeeAngela Garate is our guest this morning at Petconnect. And, you know, there's several ways that people can adopt an animal here in the Coosa Valley area. Talk about that a little bit this morning before we go.
So we have the Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill, and then you also have the Sylacauga Animal Shelter, and then Coosa County, as my understanding is, they are opening up a shelter. I don't know when, but we had Dr. Baxley on.
That's a good thing.
Oh, it's a great thing. But you can go through one of those organizations. There's also Pet Finder, where you can go online to Pet Finder and you can identify what type of pet that you would like. But you can always go and visit your Sylacauga Animal Shelter and speak with Connie and some of the staff about the available pets there. Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill, they have a Facebook page that you can go to and see what's available for adoption. So and even if you want to just try it out, fostering is a great way to find out if, is this the right fit for us? They provide all of the support, all of the supplies, and you basically supply the love and the shelter.
Yeah, no doubt about it. LeeAngela Garate is our guest this morning for Petconnect. Hey, we want you to consider sending us an email picture of your pet.
Yes.
And we're going to showcase here on Petconnect beginning in May. And I don't know what's the best way to go to email. Email it to you or email it to the station or what?
Email it to the station.
Okay, all right.
Email it to the station. And
okay,
I should know that off the top of my head, but
okay.
I don't.
All right, we'll get it set up and look forward to that. And we appreciate the work you do in our community and appreciate you being a part of Petconnect. This was your idea.
Yes, it was.
And
I took the ball and ran with it.
we think it's a fantastic idea, and we thank you for being a part of that. And we'll see you again real soon, okay?
Thank you for having me.
Hey, LeeAngela Garate, Petconnect, our guest this morning on Daybreak Live. When we come back, Braves Highlights, don't go away. Daybreak continues right after this.